undermining the issue of counseling for this little things of, because it's like people are not really considering counseling as important. People say counseling is a waste of time. Take it as the counselors are experienced. At least they've learned a lot, right? So they can be able to direct your conversations. They can't tell everything, but they can direct your conversations, which will bring these things out. At times they can also speak to you individually, separately, and get to know your issues and your problems, and see how you can relate even before you enter the holy matrimony. Are we underplaying counseling?
Well, I think counseling comes in when you're going to get married, right?
Yes.
In other developed countries, or maybe somewhere apart from besides Ghana, I think where people would say, "Oh, I have a mental challenge." It's okay for you to see, even in the movies, where somebody went for therapy because they've been through something that has affected her. But here, you don't normally see those much. You just stay home with your parents. That's what the counseling you get. Or unless seriously you're taking your clothes off on the street, where maybe you've gone through treatment, and then the end treatment is maybe some counseling before you are brought back into society. You hardly see counseling around. So what do you get? What you get is what you get from your home, what you get from school. And you see the school too, at first we used to have elderly people teaching. Now you have a lot of young people teaching. And we, these young people, are the same people who have kind of twisted way of thinking about how sex and relationships. So I can say that generally, what the people in school are also getting may not be the best. I mean, they don't be getting anything at all. And what are the parents also doing about it? The parents talk to their children about sex. I doubt that we do. It's not been that much, and I doubt that it's gotten better. So we all have to take it a step further to try to speak to our children about sex. You cannot begin to underestimate the amount of knowledge that we don't have about these things, but we think we have. Until you meet the actual circumstance, I realize that there's a lot more to learn in this. Somebody may just get up and say, "Oh, this is what I want to do," but you don't think about the implications of it. You don't think about the consequences of it. You just speak because media. But if you've had that training, you've understood, your parents have spoken to you, you've been to school but it's not there. So maybe at counseling at the end you get to know it. But at times too, you need to live some things through before you can actually appreciate what it is. So that everybody will end up learning through my experience, and some of those experiences will leave you with scars before you learn to it. So if you're somebody who can go through it, okay, then maybe you can integrate well, or it will leave you with something some bitterness with it. So we all need to, from the home, parents need to speak to their children. That is the counseling that we get at the time that we get it as children. Speak to the children just as they are growing, they are seeing. So they should be able to know. They should be able to know that if a guy touches a boy from the boy stage, a boy touches you, it's not right. You don't just keep quiet and let it happen. You speak out about it. I don't like that. There should be a teacher who should be able to let you know that yes, I don't like what happens. All that
the side of the teacher. I want to bring Honorable in, so that he adds to your side. Yes, Honorable. I think you have quite a vast. Honorable.
Yeah, you're on the practice.
Honorable, you have a very vast knowledge in the field of teaching. Very vast knowledge in the field of teaching. Had you mentioned the point that counseling, usually we are not usually considering, or we are not taking it as important as it should be taken, especially in our homes and that of our schools. But those are the parts where we get our basic socialization from.
Exactly.
In terms of the school, she made a very strong point that the young people within the school usually don't have that experience as they should, as needed experience. So they also living that youthful exuberance. And I feel everything should be as simple as it is.
Yeah, I think that, Adia was saying something concerning, home grooming. A child's, first place of socialization is the home before he or she comes to school. And you realize that she made mention of the kind of people that used to teach. As then and now are the same. Then you have people who are more or less like our uncle's age. Yeah, maybe in their late 30s.
And you see them, you see your parents.
Yes.
Yeah, more or less like that, your parents' age.
But I see 18, 19, 20s.
Or 18, I doubt, but maybe.
Oh, 18.
18.
Primary.
You see someone 18. Okay, anyway, I mean, I've known them.
18 is a working age. 18, 19, 20.
Sure.
But in my line of practice or in my line of
22.
teaching, so you meet them maybe in their early 20s or maybe mid 20s or maybe late 20s to 30s. I mean, I think that you see, the children are not being given the right education at home. And Taja was talking about sex education. You see, we have been cowed or more or less like, pushed backwards in the sense that anytime you want to talk about sex education, the children seem to be a bizarre situation. So at the mention of sex, then you begin to read their facial expressions. I think that it is something that must be done on daily basis, because these children will surely transition from puberty to adulthood, and when they transition to that stage, certainly there will be another stage in their life. So I think that sex education must be thoroughly given in the sense that you must know that when you do this, it will lead you into this. When you do that, as I was talking about the touch, that's more or less like the inappropriate touch. I use the word inappropriate because if I touch your shoulder, if a boy touches a girl's shoulder, that is not more or less like if you touch the behind, I call it the
play with the frontage.
In class, I usually give the term as offense and defense. So if you touch the defense, I mean there's wahala. If you touch the offense, another wahala. So I think that children must be given thorough education, and also there must be strict sanctions. In my class, you don't do that. So many a time, most of the girls come to me
when there's an issue,
because they know that
they can confidently
exactly. Are you getting my point? So I think that sex education must be given more, and also about the counseling bit. You see, some people don't really live up to expectation in the sense that you're a teacher, but you're also a role model in one way or the other.
Okay.
I have my funny side, or when I meet my boys and the girls, we have a way of having an adult chat. Adult or chat, but if you're in the midst of the children, you must know your limits. You joke and talk about when the children are around, you must act as a role model to them. Are you getting my point? You should be able to. So sometimes even among the girls, once in a while I'll call them, maybe one or two that so like, have you started flowing? And when you ask such a question, it sounds strange to them because they least expect a male teacher to call them and
ask that question.
Are you getting my point? But they've forgotten that this is part of counseling. I get my point. And to the extent that sometimes as teachers or as facilitators, we must also build confidence and trust in the children.
Okay.
Because there have been so many issues have popped up, or more or less like situations where a male teacher will act as a counselor, and at the end of the day, that male teacher may take advantage of it. More or less like serving as a guardian. By the time you realize. The guardian has become destroyer. I get my point. So when it comes to counseling, the child must be given proper counseling at home. Then the teacher can add extra to it when the child comes to school. I think that the counseling bit has been, our sense of counseling has reduced or has declined.
Because we have been told in our social studies and all that, primary socialization and secondary socialization. Where the primary is what you have from the home, how they brought up in secondary. You were saying something.
But I'm saying that I'm hoping that most of the secondary schools do have counseling
because even the secondary schools,
most of them have counseling units.
Yeah, so they should
even at the basic level, at the basic level they don't have, but at the JHS level they have a counseling unit. So some of the teachers sometimes lays with the primary teachers.
Yes.
Once in a while you have some of these governmental institutions like the civic education. They come in and they speak about
usually what I see in the schools is that you realize that even the teachers that counsel, it's more or less like a voluntary thing. They start that, they create that room, and then the children are able to speak to them.